Your son or daughter has brought their new partner to dinner. What can you say to make this dinner as awkward as possible? Every time they do anything, just pull out a checklist and say HMM or suck air in through your teeth. Villagum instant fizz. Which one are you again? The one from school, the one from job, or the one from the party? If we are being efficient, a simple "I prefer the redhead brunette blonde" would work. You could do what my dad did to my sister at Thanksgiving several years ago and imply that her partner had a small duck because they were having a girl. We were all too stunned to say anything, and my mom filled in the silence by asking, "Would anyone like some pumpkin pie?" Wouldn't that imply that your dad has a small duck too, since your parents had your sister? Wow, you moved on pretty fast. That's cruel. That is very cruel. You've got to be subtle about it. Too obvious, and they'll realize you're just effing with them and laugh it off. You've got to go for the deep existential dread. Ask them questions, and whatever they answer look slightly concerned and sane. Occasionally pull out a small notebook and write down what they just said. Ask them to repeat it to make sure you get it perfectly. Laugh out loud at things that obviously aren't intended as jokes. When no one else laughs, make them explain the not a joke to the rest of the table. Constantly ask them the same question several times during the night to implant the idea that you might have some sort of dementia, which, of course, they are not going to be in any position to directly ask you about. Get their name right, but your child's name wrong. Take one look at the new partner, mutter "damn it" to yourself, and then hand over a $10 bill to your partner as though you just lost a bet. Get their name right, but your child's name wrong. A few years ago I was at a large family and friends gathering, hanging around with my sister and her new boyfriend. I kept introducing them like, "This is Jeff, he's a friend of the family, and this is his girlfriend." Surely less handsome than the last one, but I guess rebounds don't necessarily need to be handsome. My Down syndrome sister used to ask every female friend, "So when are you two getting married? Or are you guys going to have kids?" I never warned them this would happen because the reactions were always hilarious. God, I love my sister. My nephew did this to me after my girlfriend at the time moved in. Are you still a virgin? My girlfriend's grandmother did ask me this the first night I met her. Are you a virgin? UHH, because if you are I would hop all over that. Points at granddaughter. Dress up in ridiculous costumes and act offended oblivious if it's mentioned. Fursuit. My dad used to say, "Oh, and what's your name?" He has so many I'm never up to date. They laughed it off, to be fair. Damn, I felt that. Just stare at them. Don't say anything. Make sure to maintain eye contact. Also eat meanwhile. Freaks me out every time. I'm not sure how to say this, but that's your brother. Really? I thought it was my cousin. When's the baby shower? Happy cake day. What are your dental hygiene habits? This happened to me at a friend's house. Her dad was a dentist. Worst conversation of my life. "Come here, let me see your teeth." Actually saying nothing would be very awkward. Not even trying to engage in conversation. Haha. Yes, but only if you smile and act really non-verbally polite the whole time. Out of all of us here, you are the only one whose genitals haven't been inside my wife. Okay, this one's effing weird, lol. I imagine it being stated like, "Hey, did you know? Cool, right?" Talk like you just strutted out of the 80s 90s. Bonus for dressing like it too. I say I like you, Bo. Tell her that my wife is hard of hearing while she's out of the room, and that she should speak slowly and loudly as possible to her at all times. She also has a glass eye. Don't effing stare at it. Oh hey, remember when we hooked up? My daughter's boyfriend. So that was 3 years ago in a parking lot when your wife was on a work trip. What's a potato? Are you effing with us? Going to bring this one to bed tonight. Your father has purchased some new chains. Look confused and say to my kid, "You told me you were opposite sexuality. Is this one of them transgenders? Take off your clothes. Let me see." So how long have you been dating 10-year-olds? I mean, I did once. but I was 11 then, so oh. Throw my undercooked steak at the window thinking it was open, but it was just really clean, so the juices are just running down it. Sauce. This. I don't have any children. Who the F are you guys? Perfect. When did you start liking? I feel like this works even better if they are already gay. How was the first time you guys had sex? If a parent asked me that, I would tell them, then ask them, and their wife husband the same question. One boob accidentally peeping out. Act like everything is okay. I had a major faux pas like that. I sat through the entire dinner and dessert with my BF, his dad, his teenage brother and his mother, with both my tits out. I didn't realize, until it was way too late. I was wearing black gothy lace up stuff, and the laces had come undone, but I didn't know. SMDH and still cringes. Look that young man, my daughter's new partner, directly in the eye, say you knew his mother, and that she was the best piece of ass I've ever had, and I've had them all, then quietly return to your spaghetti bolognese. Edit. Clarification oddly specific. Do you learn their names or just give them numbers at this point? So another victim going up on your head wall. Or, ask him to pay the bills. My family has a game where they just try to say peen as often as possible in conversation or just yell it randomly. Is your family name middle school? I thought about buying dessert, but who needs it when we can have you? Pulls out a knife. What's amazing to me is how many responses are incest based. No wonder Pornhub figured it out. First time meeting my now husband's dad, he asked me when we were alone in their family barn. Husband went to go grab something outside the barn. So what do you think about life? With the world's best poker face. I honestly can't remember what asinine answer I stuttered out. I'm not good at answering super open-ended questions on the spot like that. But to my response, he gave a slight HMM and just walked away. I was mortified. He actually asked me that question again recently when we came to visit, and our relationship is a lot more comfortable now, and I just said shut. I don't know which he laughed at and said good answer. I was so worried about making a good impression the first time, but now I'm carrying his third granddaughter and I'm chaff. Everything you do to her I do to you. Gives her his entire bank account big brain time. Jump on the table, point a fork towards them, while holding it like a pitchfork, squat on the table then headbutt them. Then say who are you, and how the hell did you get in my house? You have to say it in a really soft voice, like you would to a baby. I bet your asshole is adorable. Psychological warfare at its best. Oh hey, you look just like this woman I had a one night stand with, right before I ended up getting my kid's mom pregnant. If you dislike their new partner, bring up the question of how they got together and then, no matter what their reply, oh weren't you still with X amount of time they've been together ago? Or alternatively insinuate that the very day they started dating was the same day as when they broke up with their ex. If you like their new partner, embarrassing childhood memories, loud exclamations with similar tones to welcome to the family, extra awkward if they haven't been together long, and excessive inside jokes that need too much explaining about things that set up the new partner for 3-hour story times. Glad to meet you. You know, we don't see many black people around here. So, are you on parole or something? Don't forget to like this video and follow this channel to hear more Redditception.